Welcome back to Maggotti's Burn, everybody. I'm gonna preface this by saying it's so hot here today that I just have to have the windows open. I am so sorry to all of you that can hear the slight cars in the background, because I live in quite an urban area. Not fully. It's not really the most populated town in the whole of the UK, and I don't live right in the town centre either. But I do live on a waterfront where a lot of people go when it's hot to go to the pub. So, you know, there's the whole possibility of that. But I don't imagine we'll get too many pub hooligans at 11 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully not. Anyway, welcome back to Banished. I didn't realise, but we do actually have our mine almost built. For a second then I thought it was built. But we will get there with that soon, because we need some iron and we need it fast. We're good on tools, luckily, which means that it's not the biggest concern in the whole wide world that we have iron. But I would like to get this trading post built. For sure. There we go. And that can have 15 people in there, which is kind of cool. We only have... Well, I just closed the jobs menu. Why did I close the jobs menu? We only have 2 labourers. So let's just have 1 in there, ploughing away very slowly at iron collection. Now, I could do the whole thing of lowering down the farmers to 2 to tend to the orchard while we are in the winter months, and just filling this up, because I feel like that happens a lot. I used to do this in some of my older games, where I would do that with the stone cutters when we were really out of stone. But I don't know if it's going to be a priority this time around. And you really need to keep an eye on the time as well. It's one of those things where if you leave it too long, you ruin your harvest for the year, which means your people starve. So sometimes it's less of a risk just to have it... Why is that one not the priority here? Okay, anyway. Let's, you've had your time as miners. Let's take that back down to 1. And then we'll take this back to 8. Because it's late winter and it's coming up on spring. And I don't want to risk these things, you know? It's just very important for us to feed our people. As for housing, let's see where we're at. So we still got a house with just 1 person in. Some without kids as well. There is a few that want to expand a little bit. So I think I am going to perhaps move over this side with these. Have we got room here? We do. Now we can put some over here. That's probably too many, but it's a thing. Oh well. They're actually getting built kind of quickly. Very good job on the 1 builder over there. And the 1 labourer. It's honestly kind of impressive, to be honest with you. How is this producing iron? How well? Yeah, not very quickly. But this was kind of to be expected. We're not really in a place where we can be very happy with... I don't know what I'm saying, guys. Do I ever, to be honest with you? Alright, hopefully that bean harvest comes in very soon, because we are back to nothing on stored food. Now, some of the houses will have some in, so it isn't the biggest deal, but it is kind of, if people move into a house and they can't get food, then they starve, even though we've got food in other houses. It's very finicky is probably the right word. I do for sure see, yeah, we are running out of stored food. That's what those symbols mean. Those symbols above the houses mean there's no food in their storage. If it's above a person, it means that they're actually starving. So that's when the big problems arise. But I think we should be good. I don't want to harvest this early. There is a button to harvest it early. I want to see if we can get it to 100%. Because even though that might not be the most we lose, because it's a 91% yield, I don't want to give it up just yet. Once I start seeing it on the people's heads, then I'll be like, yeah, maybe we need to harvest this. Maybe. But we should be able to start harvesting it very soon. And it shouldn't be a problem, fingers crossed. I will definitely be keeping my fingers crossed. Come on, 97. We're just going to keep counting this. 98. 99. Is it harvest time? It's harvest time. Woot woot. You done it. We've survived. Now, there may be a bit more of a teething period when we're getting the food to the store. It takes a little while to get sorted out, but the important thing to note here is that we did it. We got some food out. And the next step is to be setting up for next year, where we will have an additional crop field out here. Because we are running out of food so quickly. And it's kind of annoying, I'll be honest with you. 11 by 11 here as well. And let's pop one up here. Now, question here. Does a house fit? No, that's a bit of a sad time. Reserve of food is low. Yep, that's no surprise. So, I think what we'll do in this small space here is I'll probably put in like a bunch more stockpiles. I know it seems really stupid because we've got quite empty stockpiles at the time for the time being, but it is something to put there. No, it's too large that way. 10, 10, 6. There we go. So next year we're going to do a bunch more beans and just one more pepper. But I don't think we're going to start the pepper next year. I think that'll be... Yeah. I'm not quite ready to give up the labourers that we do have. So we will just leave it to beans that we are adding to our production this time around. In these months, I'm going to get rid of some of these resources around here as we are moving out that way a little bit. I also want to get a road going down here for the sake of housing, because we will probably put a bunch more around here. It's really good to have the people living close to where they're working. It's a really important thing. It gets them to work faster, it gets them more effective, so doing that where you can is really, really good. Now, at the moment we really don't have anything we can just give up and trade, so I'm going to leave that there and we'll see if we get any good offers that we can kind of make the materials for, if that makes sense. Now we do still have a labourer free over here if we were to fill this crop field with staff. So I think maybe we do try that this time around. I don't know where's got... Oh, I'll tell you why. Because I'm being silly. I need to change that to 14 because there's 7 farmer plots available and each takes 2. I'm just being stupid, basically, is the long and short of that. We were running out of wood by the looks of things, but I think we're back up on it now. I was seeing that firewood was running a little bit low, so it's a good thing we got rid of some of the trees around the area. And I might continue to do that a little bit. Just down here and round there and that one there, because that one wasn't being... Well, that was in a weird way. So that's good. I think if we're gonna expand out this way, I think the bridge should be about here. Mainly because that's the only option we've got. Because I kind of ruined every other way, pretty much. So it only needs 1 tile. I completely forgot about that. Let's see if we can get that moved over to there. Now it does require 52 logs, which, I mean, we have at the moment, but we won't if we keep going on building these houses and chopping this firewood as we'd hope to. So that's not the best, but I think with the labourers chopping down what we've got over here, it should be a bit better. And we definitely should have a really good harvest this time around because we have doubled our food production, which is going to be very exciting. It's a little bit low this time around, but it's nearly time for harvest. We're actually getting a really early harvest as well because it's now early summer, and this time around we're going to be able to harvest that a little bit earlier, which is going to make for fantastic like help here with these guys that don't have any food in their storage whatsoever. So that's very exciting. I wonder if we're going to get a slightly early harvest on our peppers as well. It looks a little bit like we might, but I'm not going to hold out hope, and it doesn't really matter because our main supply of food for the summertime is the beans, and they are coming in nice and early. We must have been really needing those beans because we've produced about somewhere close to 1,800, and we're only sitting on about 300 in our storage. So 740 came out of this one, 580 out of this one so far, and 700 out of that one. So sitting roughly about actually 2,100, and we've got that few left about. So really banking on the peppers here for these, and feel like we still need to do a little bit of expanding our farmland, to be quite honest with you. I feel like you can never quite have enough farmland, if you ask me. So let's just future-proof ourselves and get them ready. Get the plots in. Even if we don't use them all now, it's fine. It doesn't cost us anything to have them just laying around ready for expansion. And if the area around them is already clear, they just get set up and it doesn't require any work from anybody else either. So I'm gonna just do the whole process of lowering these down. Like so, and then we will... I think we're just going to keep it with the pattern of beans on these and then peppers on these. But I will stop the work on that. Oh no, a labourer died during childbirth. That's a really sad thing. And I'm going to stop that one from working as well. And we will allocate 2 more farmers for the time being. And then maybe if over the autumn and winter seasons we get a few more labourers through school, then perhaps there is the possibility that we can get another one of these going for next year. But having 1,800 food sitting around over the autumn winter months is good. I think it could be better for sure, but it's definitely something. As for iron, how are we doing with this iron? It feels like we have hardly made any, which is very true. We haven't. So I think I will go over to the new area that we have just expanded to, and there's the possibility that there might be some raw iron just around here. So we'll get our labourers and whoever is available in the winter months to help labour, and we will chop down some of this stuff here. Now unfortunately there's still a few houses that are kind of full, so I'm going to do what I can to expand up this way. That's actually a kind of perfect spot for them over there because of the placement of them. Works out really neatly along the top there, which is great news. This is being worked on really well. We're actually getting a lot more stone than we are wood or anything else around here for that. Looks like early spring has come along, and I think I will just do my due diligence of just allocating an extra 2 farmers because we have had a few more adults grow up, and I think the more we can expand food wise, the better we are in the long run, for sure. But we're already getting a warning for our reserves on food again, so that's a bit worrying. A merchant has come by, and what does he have? Pecan seeds. That's good news because we already have pecans, so I'm not too fussed about that. You can go. I don't need to worry about trying to make up that level of trade. Speaking of our trades though, it would be good to try and really work on getting something that we can sell, whether that be a surplus of tools for the time being. I think that might be the best way to go about it, doing like a solid surplus of tools. I think that's really our only option here. Might be worth getting in a second blacksmith early just to carry that on. I think that might be a reasonable way to go about things. Now we've got houses once again here saying that they are out of food, but it's okay. We're harvesting a lot of beans this season. This one's going to be a bit later because we assigned those farmers just a little bit too late in the season for them to start sowing the seeds as early as we would hope. But we're doing all right. We're definitely doing all right. Now, something that will greatly help the storage of this food, especially the speed at which we can get it to storage, will be a storage barn on this side. But I just saw that crop field has got an infestation. It's not the worst thing in the world for the simple reason we are so late in the season, and these guys are all pretty much taken care of already. Nothing was growing there, it had already been fully grown. We are low on logs, but that's fine. We're going to have our spare labourers, which we've got 6 of now. Just carry on around here and get rid of some of these trees where we can. Lovely. It's just clearing a path for our mine, for one. That was something I really wanted to get done. And I'd also like to put the additional blacksmith in up here. I think that would be really nice to do. Now, as for that storage barn I was talking about, I think it wouldn't go amiss on this side here. I think if I were to do it there, we should be in a good stead. It just helps the farmers over on this side get their food to storage better so that they can harvest it quicker and get it to the people quicker. That is a very good place to be in late autumn. 3,000 food going. That's actually really fantastic, so very happy about that. That won't stay like that for very long because we will be growing. We will be growing like crazy, so no real stopping here is probably the best way to put it. No stopping. We're going to allocate those peppers so that we can get those peppers going next year. I'm not too worried about the peppers being a bit of a slower crop because we do have such a surplus this year. It's really the perfect time to start putting in those peppers so we've got that variety. I think the variety helps. I'm not sure on the exact stuff, whether it helps with happiness or whatever, having food variety. But I do like to keep my options open. Just because having multiple streams of food helps. For multiple reasons, including like the fire. Not fire. I'm reading the word firewood over here and saying fire. But if there was an infestation on a crop field or something like that, or it was a really slow fishing season or something, we get about 1,000 a year from our fishing, which is good. Which is enough variety there. And then we've got the 2 different kinds of crops. We have a small amount of pecans. Pecans only net us about 500 a year. Actually, one year we got 779 out of that, so that is quite good. But as I say, having a nice diverse selection of crops means that we keep our people happy and we can guarantee multiple sources of food every year. And if one of those goes, then it's not the biggest deal in the world. But looks like early spring has started again. We are a little bit frosty this time around, so we won't be able to start sowing the seeds as early on, which means a little bit of a late harvest here, unfortunately, for us. If it would just get rid of the snow, now our farmers can start setting up for the year. And that will be really good. Our reserve of firewood is staying really quite low, which is unfortunate. I'm unsure of whether or not it's our general surplus of wood or whether it's the amount that our woodcutter here can handle on his own. I might get in another woodcutter just to see if it's him. Not that I'm blaming him. More of just like a you can only handle so much as one person sort of deal. Looks like another trader just pulled up. Let's see what you've got. You've got pear seeds. Now, pears are trees, so they're less important to me than crop foods because you don't get as much out of the space. Really, we don't have anything that we can feasibly give to you guys, so I'm just gonna dismiss for this time. It's unfortunate, for sure. I definitely want to be collecting all the stuff, but if we haven't got anything we can trade off, then there's no real point. That's definitely easier in modded Banished because there is so much more in terms of food sources, luxuries, all that sort of stuff. One of the things I always do in my early games in modded is I use beekeeping and chandleries. So we make some honey as a food source, but we also have the byproduct of beeswax, which we can then use to make candles, which are a good luxury to be trading with early on. And that's how I expand my crop selection in that regard. We're looking pretty good. We haven't hit 0 on our food at any point. We didn't even get a warning for it. So that's really quite fantastic. And this barn is filling up with beans, as I knew it would, because it's just closer for these guys. I feel like these top ones might still go over there, but the bottom ones will definitely go over into this this barn here. So that's very exciting. I think since we've got 7 labourers on the go, I might up the amount of workers in our mine. I think that would be very useful. Are we running out of... We're running out of stone by the looks of things. Yeah, stone's looking a bit of a problem over here. Let's see if we've got any reasonable stone deposits over here that we can just pull out. So we've got some there. And we've got a reasonable amount there. I'm trying very hard not to get the ones over the other side of the river because they can't access them and it kind of ruins their prioritization of certain tasks. So limit it to only what you can see and access from your own side. Yeah, that's a lovely reminder that our stone is low. It might be time to start us building a quarry. Quarries are huge, unfortunately, so it will take up a lot of space. As you can see here, can't quite fit it in the area that we kind of have designated for mining at the moment. It could fit over this side, or we could start expanding over to the other side of the river here, where we could definitely find some space for it. Perhaps we'll have like a little quarry town over here with a few more houses. Another thing about modded, which I'm just going to rave about modded, I'll be honest with you guys. Another thing about modded is you can have the different styles of houses, so I could have like slum-like houses for a mining town, and then the people that work on more luxury goods could have slightly more luxury homes. It's kind of cool like that, and that's what I think I will do in the long run. We are out of logs by the looks of things. The firewood supply is getting a bit low because of it. So I'm going to have what I have left in terms of labourers getting on with that for the time being. And I think with this sort of up in the air as it is right now, I think I'm going to leave it there. So thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed and I look forward to seeing you next time.